Yahweh our Elohim is a consuming fire. Maybe we should say the consuming fire. Don't play. Don't play with fire because you will get burned. This Barry Phillips is timid toward day 5 of Eikev. Let's go to Deuteronomy, Devarim, chapter number 9, and read the first 3 verses, which say, Shema Israel, hear, O Israel, you are passing over the Jordan today to go in and dispossess nations greater and stronger than yourself, cities great and walled up to the heavens, a people great and tall, the descendants of the Anakim, whom you know and of whom you have heard it said, who does stand before the descendants of Anak? And you shall know today the Yahweh your Elohim is he who is passing over before you as a consuming fire. He does destroy them and subdue them before you, so you shall dispossess them and destroy them quickly, as Yahweh has said to you. Now, a consuming fire. Fire has the commodity or the benefit of getting some work done. It can warm you. It can create energy for you. It can also consume you. It's all in how you approach it. So they knew that if they were to Israel, that is, they knew that if they were to go across the Jordan and face these adversaries of gigantic stature, that by physical strength alone they were overmatched and they would never survive. These sons of Anak were not only gigantic, but they were of a totally fallen nature. They were filled with the seed of the serpent, and they had no redeemable qualities whatsoever. Now, it's hard for us to think of any group of people, any race or ethnicity in such terms, but in this case in particular, there's nothing to redeem here. So when they went in to fight this army, it was much perhaps like going in and facing a herd of demons, while Israel themselves were armed with the most basic of weapons. And again, we have to remember, we're not talking about modern warfare of any design whatsoever. Primarily, we're talking about hand-to-hand combat. The most dangerous, lethal, the most annihilating form of any warfare. Yet they are given the promise that Yah will go before them like a devouring fire. There's another thing about fire. It will take the fight out of your adversaries. It's just anybody that's burned themselves at all. A hot burner, hot pan, too close to a burning fire, picking up something you didn't realize was so hot. Instantaneously, immediately, the response is there. And the pain just doesn't go away with any ease. I mean, it's going to be there a while. I do call to mind sitting in a chair in my living room working on the electronics of a guitar, an electric guitar, and I had a soldering iron over to my right-hand side. We're talking 800 degrees. Not good to reach over without looking at what you're grabbing. I just mindlessly, I had what I needed to solder right there at the point. Okay, it's connected, it's ready to go. And I didn't look over, I just reached over and I was hollering before I realized why I was hollering. Not good. So this burning, consuming fire will go in and take the fight out of the enemy. Matter of fact, that does seem to be what Yah has intent for much of those who stand against him. Over in the book of Matthew and in chapter 25, it says in verse 41, he shall then also say to those on the left hand, go away from me, accursed ones, into the everlasting fire prepared for the devil and his messengers. Now, what kind of gross sinners are we talking about here? How horrible an act have they committed, a sin? He said, "For I was hungry, and you gave me no food. I was thirsty. You gave me no drink. I was a stranger. You did not take me in. Was naked. You did not clothe me. Sick and in prison. And you did not visit me." And he was saying, "Inasmuch as you failed to do this for the least of these that are followers of mine, this is the way you've treated me." And he says in verse 46, then at the end of the chapter, "These shall go away into everlasting punishment, but the righteous into everlasting life." Over in the revelation of Yeshua, our Messiah, chapter number 20. Verse number 10 says, "And the devil who led them astray was thrown into the lake of fire and sulfur, where the beast and the false prophet are, and they shall be tortured day and night forever and ever. And I was sitting, and I saw on a great white throne, and him who was sitting on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away, and no place was found for them. And I saw the dead, small and great, standing before the throne, and the books were opened. And another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged from what was written in the books according to their works. The sea gave up the dead who were in it, and death and Sheol gave up the dead who were in them, and they were judged, each one according to his works. Death and Sheol were thrown in the lake of fire. This is the second death. And if anyone was not found written in the book of life, he was thrown in the lake of fire." So fire is the ultimate destiny of those who end up being the adversaries of the Most High. It says over in 1 Corinthians chapter number 3, verse 11, "For no one is able to lay any other foundation except that which is laid, which is Yeshua Messiah. And anyone who builds on this foundation with gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, straw, each one's work shall be revealed, for the day shall show it, because it is revealed by fire, and the fire shall prove the work of each one, what sort it is." All right, Barry. So are you saying then that we're going to be tested by fire? I think so, in some regard. Now, whether this is a scorched earth policy of some rogue armies coming across the earth, volcanic eruptions, wild forest fires out of control, or whether it is figurative. And we pray for the figurative, although the figurative may not be so much enjoyable either. Yah has a way of taking the fight out of our adversaries. Currently, in our modern world, we have a variety of government entities and agencies, nefarious groups, terrorists, etc. The list goes on. And they are involved in spying, in scandaling. We realize, people can look and see any and everywhere with drones buzzing overhead and people watching your internet searches and listening to your cell phone conversations and watching your finances and all of that stuff. It's conspiracy theory fodder, I know. But there's really nowhere you can hide except Yah hides you. And we might think, well, what do we do? How do we deal with this? This is the opening doors for the anti-Messiah. The fire of Yah will take care of our adversaries. However, the fires of the last days manifest, one thing will be shown. The righteous will be proven, and their works will stand, like precious stones and gold purified in the fire. The adversaries of Yah will be consumed. Shabbat Shalom. Be blessed as you gather with anyone who is able to gather with you, family, friends, congregations, or if you're by yourself. Know that you're not alone, for the King sits with you at your table. May the presence of the Most High fill you, and we hope to see you again next week. Until then, Shabbat Shalom.